Hello and welcome back to Part-Time Bodybuilder. This is your host, Holly Jeans. I am joined today by Clare Barks, who I've actually known for a few years now. She used to be a personal trainer in the gym that I trained at before I started bodybuilding, and actually probably saw the majority of my first prep. So it's lovely to have Clare on. Hi, Clare.
It's really, really good to catch up after, like you said, we've been trying to sort this out for a little while. So no, it's good to be on. Thank you.
Yeah, I think when was my first prep? 2018. So yeah, it's been a good 3 years.
Is that when we first met?
Yeah, maybe a bit before that, because that was when I started prep. So I was probably going to the gym for probably about 6 months before that.
I think I was in prep at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
I think I've seen you prep a few times actually.
Get gradually more gaunt and exhausted, leaning on the side. Yeah, no, we had.
I don't know whether you want to do a quick introduction, who you are, what you do.
Well, I'm Clare Barks. I am a personal trainer. Well, usually I'm a personal trainer when we don't have something going on. Personal trainer, figure athlete, mum. Yeah, that's pretty much it, really, in a roundabout way.
And trained by JP athlete.
I was trained by JP
athlete. We got the branding on.
I've actually had to skip aside and train by JP nutrition. Like the focus, I'm like, I need to be a bit more awake for this. So like it wasn't.
You're climbing off the walls. Be like quick fire questions.
Yeah.
So I thought we'd start with a bit of background. So I know you've always kind of been interested in fitness. So where did it all start for you?
Fitness-wise, it's something that's just within me, I think. Right from day dot, for as far back as I can remember, I've always been into sports. Very, very competitive as well. I mean, even back to like primary school days, my mum said, the egg and spoon race, it's literally do or die. I had to win. I would not be happy if I didn't win. If I fell over in the sack race, that was it was the end of the world. So yeah, throughout all my school years, I was very competitive with sports, netball in particular, and athletics. I used to sprint. I sprint for the school and for the county. So yeah, it's something that's always been within me. And then sort of, but back when we took GCSEs, there was never a sports or PE GCSE. Otherwise, I think that would have been the route I would have taken. So it's almost sort of just like a hobby on the side. It wasn't like something that I pursued as a career to start with. In fact, initially, all my qualifications and career started off with working with children.
Same as me.
So yeah, sorry?
Same as me.
Oh really?
Yeah, I started off as a nursery nurse.
Yeah, I did the nursery nurse, but I worked with sort of children with difficult backgrounds with play therapy for a little bit. And then I met my now husband just before he was about to join the Marines, and I just quit a job because circumstances, and I wanted to find a job that was working with children but also flexible enough where I could travel on weekends to go and see him. So I ended up nannying in London for a couple of years, and as part of it was a live-in position. It was a lovely job. It was very, very tiring. The mum didn't work, so I just looked after her children while she went off shopping, literally. But there was quite a few perks of the job. I got a car. I got like the top floor of the house. I got to, I could eat what I want. I could do what I want on the weekends. And part of the package was a free gym membership. And it was literally, from that day onwards, I just got hooked on the weights room. I walked in, and I know a lot of girls would sort of gravitate to the cardio, and I was just like straight in with the weights, show me what to do. I used to just look at people and like, right, I'm doing this and doing that. And from then I was obsessed. I'd read magazines, I would research, and it was just constant research on training and nutrition. And it was all magazines back then, so it was the Flex magazine. So I was just following Ronnie Coleman's diet, Ronnie Coleman's weight programs. Yeah, just
Front double bicep.
Sorry,
Front double bicep.
yeah, front double bicep. I think this is right. Yeah, I'm doing. Yeah, that looks right. Yeah, I don't quite look like Ronnie Coleman yet, but yeah, it must be working. So it was just like sort of, and then I started experimenting with my nutrition, and my body started changing shape, and I'm like, this is awesome, finding that training in a certain way and eating in a certain way, I could sort of develop a different physique, and I was absolutely obsessed and fascinated. So every time I finished work in the evening, I was straight to the gym. I was there on the weekends, and yes, that's really where it started. And then got married, we moved to Plymouth, and we signed up for a gym there. And yeah, but it wasn't all just sort of weights. I also carried on playing netball, I carried on running, I sort of bits and bobs, but yeah, that's when the obsession with weight training began.
Really started. And then you said you've got 2 girls, haven't you?
Yeah, 2 daughters, yeah.
So did training carry on kind of while they were young? Did you always manage to fit it in?
Yeah, I've always done something. So when I first got married, we moved into a married quarter. I literally kind of just got dumped, and my husband had to go away. So I was like in the middle of nowhere. I literally just like, so to start with, we didn't have a gym membership signed up. So I used to do home workouts or go running. And then when I was pregnant, I still carried on working out. I remember I was still running sort of towards the end of the pregnancy.
Wow.
Yeah. And then, yeah, I've just always found a way. And then even when they were born, I remember doing like fitness DVDs, or, setting up my own circuits. As soon as I went down for a nap, I used to do something. So I've always found a way to do something, because it's just part of me. I just could not sort of feel like energized, or, I mean, it's just something that I've always managed to find a way to do somehow.
Yeah, so. just ingrained and part of your kind of daily life, I suppose.
Yeah, absolutely.
And has that been passed on to your daughters? Are they quite sporty?
Throughout school, yeah. My eldest, she's more sort of team sports.
Yeah.
She was very good sort of hockey. She now goes to a gym as well and loves her swimming. My youngest sort of flits in and out. I think my youngest is more obsessed with sort of the Instagram body. I'm trying to sort of show her how to train properly.
Yeah.
But yeah, she does. She likes weights and she likes sort of working out. But she sort of goes through fits and phases of, I'll do it for a bit and then I'll stop for a bit. But they'll find a way. But they both keep active and fit in their own sort of way. So yeah.
I think it takes you a while to find kind of your niche as well, doesn't it? Because I tried so many things before I started bodybuilding.
Yeah, I mean, for me, netball was a massive part of my life. I only stopped playing that when I started competing, because I kept breaking my finger or twisting my ankle, and it just sort of stopped my weight training, and it sort of all conflicted. And it was only when I started competing, really, I stopped all other things. So I ran a couple of marathons. Well, when I decided I wanted to compete, my mum, who runs a charity called Children of Fiji, said to me, we're setting up this team to raise money for the charity. Do you fancy, running a marathon? I was like, well, I've just decided to compete, but I suppose I could. And it's a challenge, and I love a challenge.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did. And just kind of, I did all the training for it, just sort of wrote my own sort of training. And I started getting excruciating knee pain, just sort of repetitive overuse injury. And but I did it. I ran the whole marathon in pain. I got a decent time, and then I found out my mum was going to do it again the next year, and I thought, right, I could beat my time here with no knee pain. What could I do? So I'm like, right, I'm going to just do one more, and then I'll start competing. But I was kind of weight training in between and doing my running training. And anyway, long story short, the knee pain kicked in again. So I did do the second one with knee pain, but I did beat my time. So
So you tick the box.
I tick that box. I've done that. I won't be doing that again. But yeah, and then since then it's been sort of all in on competing.
And so when did you start competing?
2013.
Okay, so good few years.
A few years, yeah. It's more a case, I loved the weight training. The other things were sort of getting in the way of my weight training, but I still had a competitive streak in me. But what could I do with the weight training that still had that competitive element? And that's kind of when competing sort of came into my head. Because I did it for the love of doing it. I kind of wanted to, just sort of a goal, do you know what I mean? Sort of
something to drive towards. Yeah.
Something, yeah. And I always say I don't do this for the stage, and I don't, because if there wasn't a stage there, I'd still be doing this lifestyle. I'd still be sort of, trying to improve my physique. I'd go through cycles of gaining and cutting and what have you. So the competing is almost like a sort of like a milestone, just sort of like, this is my progress so far, sort of thing, and then we'll go again. But yeah, so but then at the end of the day, we all want to win, so it keeps that sort of competitive element into it. So
yeah, it's a really nice like cycle effect, isn't there? Because even when you're not prepping for a show, there's still goals and there's still things to drive for. So it's not like it's ever done.
Yeah, absolutely. And the focus kind of switches, from a cutting phase to a gaining phase on different sort of elements. So there's always something to sort of, work towards, which I love. Even when I stop competing, I can't see, I'll probably relax a little bit, but I can't see me ever sort of coming away from this kind of lifestyle.
No,
it's just, it's kind of, it's either in you or it's not, isn't it? Once you find out that training is an absolute passion, and it's not done for Instagram, it's not done for anything but for you and for the love of doing it, it's in there, isn't it? So
and so first show wise, did you hire a coach or do you wait?
Absolutely weird. So I decided I was going to compete. So like, what do I do? And and Instagram was quite new. Instagram was, and I remember scrolling through, and I saw this picture of this girl. I was like, that's what I want to be. And I sort of said to myself, not far off that. I reckon I could do it. I was. But so like, right, figure. Because I looked at like bikini, I'm like, I'm not flouncy. I can't do all that girly stuff. I don't move flowy. So I needed a category that was just like, this is me. It's not dancing. If I didn't have to wear heels, that would be
Even better.
Yeah, and I wasn't like big enough for physique, so I was like, figure suits me. So I like Googled bodybuilding gyms in Poole, and Primitive Gym came up. So like, right, pluck up the courage to walk in there and ask advice. And honestly, I was shitting myself. I was like, what am I going to say? They're going to laugh at me. So I went in there and met Ryan and sort of said, I want to start competing. I think I want to do a UK BFF show, and I think I want to be a bigger competitor. And he sort of pointed me towards a guy called Gary Hill.
Yeah. I know Gary.
Yeah. And I had a few personal training sessions with him. So I was kind of training with him a little bit, but doing completely my own nutrition, winging it. And Ryan's girlfriend, now wife, was going to enter the South Coast 2013 South Coast show. So I was like, well, she's doing that, you know, I'll do it as well. So we're both sort of we're prepping for that. And like I say, I just Googled bodybuilding diet, how to diet for a show. I read somewhere that you cut salt out. So I thought that meant I thought that meant you just cut salt out your whole diet completely. So I don't think I had any salt at all. I just completely, and I panicked that if I had any salt in anything. So I completely cut that out. I went very low carb, and yeah, just if the scale was going down, that's it, I'm on track. So
Yeah.
I just I got quite lean. I got in quite good condition. I mean, it wasn't like the condition I get into now, but I did all right. And but I didn't know how to pose, so I just YouTubed a few poses.
Yeah.
And didn't know how to sort of get into the pose. It was more a case of this: lift up your arms, twist, and go. And it was more like this. yeah. And I came third. And
Amazing.
I got an invite to the British finals, which was like the end of that year. So I competed in the April, and the British finals was the October that same year. So, and then I placed top 6. I came 5th in the British finals. I prepped myself again. I was like, okay, maybe I'm okay at this. And then there was a show came up that was the first qualifier for the year after. The 2014 British finals in November, and I won it. And I got an invite to the British finals that next year, and then I placed 4th.
Amazing.
Yeah, and it's just kind of gone from there. And then in 2015, I won the British finals. So yeah, I did have a coach. I picked up a coach 2015. So yeah.
Did you think, oh, this is how we do it?
Yeah. Oh, well, I'm allowed to eat. So I can eat food, and I can
I'm
put
allowed
salt.
salt.
I'm allowed salt. Yeah, it was actually a bit of an eye-opener, actually, to the amount of food that I was able to eat. I literally just starved myself, you know, when I was prepping myself. So yeah, but looking back, I'm glad I did it, because I learned a hell of a lot, and it made me read. It made me sort of educate myself, and then sort of knowing the mistakes I made, and you know, it's really sort of, yeah, because you can just sort of blindly follow a plan and not know why you're doing it. And yeah, I'm glad I did it. And then, like I say, I picked up a coach 15, 16, and then since 2017, I've been working with Jordan. So yeah.
And so when was the switch to kind of Two Bros IFBB shows? What year did you start doing that?
That must have been 2000, either 17 or 18. I'm trying to think. I think it might have been 18.
No, you definitely did. I think you did some in 18 abroad. I think I remember that.
Yeah, I did. I came second twice. Second in the Two Bros in the UK, and second in Italy. I literally just missed out, which is frustrating. And then 2019 and 20 were a blur.
Yeah.
2020 was an odd year. But yeah, 2020, I put far too much pressure on myself. People were sort of saying, this is your time, pro carb. It really kind of got to me. I didn't want people to say it anymore. I was like, stop it. And it's almost like, right, all eyes are on me now, and it really kind of knocked me confidence. So yeah, I need to sort of chill out this year.
And I think if you're naturally quite competitive as well, like you say with the egg and spoon race and things like that, you naturally kind of are quite hard on yourself if you don't get what you want.
Yeah, it really not. Plus as well, I've got braces at the moment.
Yeah.
And the fact that I had braces last year on stage really affected my confidence as well, because I didn't want to smile, and so I didn't. I'm not the best smiler on stage anyway, but I was literally like, oh, I'm not opening my mouth. But they're coming out this year, so hopefully I won't have them on stage next time I compete. So yeah. I'm a perfectionist, and I just, yeah, like you say, I am very hard on myself, and I'm very competitive, and yeah, sometimes I just need to chill and just say, just enjoy it and don't stress.
Yeah, because like you say, you'd do this if you weren't getting on stage. So I think it's that little reminder, isn't it, that, like you say, to enjoy it, and the end result isn't everything.
Yeah, the stage is the hardest bit for me. I'm not a natural performer. I'm quite sort of withdrawn and very sort of introspective, and I'm not sort of a showy person. Like I say, I'll be doing this without Instagram and without people looking at me anyway. But with the knowledge and experience that I've gained, I do have quite a few followers and people that ask me advice and ask me questions. I like that aspect of it. I like helping other people. It's hard. You can't sort of hide away, and sort of want to help people as well. But yeah, I do find the stage sort of like the hardest part of it. The prepping and that, and the just killing it, and getting into condition is tough, but I can do it. And then I need to sort of showcase that properly on stage and be confident. So,
yeah, and kind of, it's hard, isn't it? Because it's just one day.
Yeah, I see. And then you're like, oh, I should have done that. And then
well, every time I've got my stage pictures back, I thought, oh.
Yeah. I have these little mantras in my head. Don't forget to do this. Don't forget to do that. And when you turn around, you've got to do that. And I come on stage and I'm like, I didn't do any of that.
No. Mine's always back shot. I always pull my shoulders back every time.
Yeah, and it looks different to what you're feeling.
Yeah.
You think it feels awkward, and it will look awkward, but yeah. But I'm quite like that. You tend to sort of pinch your shoulder blades back. You need to sort of open out a bit more.
Yeah. Do you have kind of a backstage thing to kind of get in the zone, and if the stage isn't kind of your comfort zone?
Literally, I don't sort of do anything particularly, but I keep myself to myself. I won't speak to anybody. I will find a place. I can't talk to anyone. I just like to get into my own little head. So when you're lining up, a lot of the girls are sort of chit-chatting to each other, and I just keep my head down, and I just like to sort of get within myself. That sort of calms me down, calms my nerves down. So yeah, it's just, and when I'm backstage as well, I tend to just sort of sit on my own. I'm not sort of, I won't sort of find people to, it's just a case of calm.
I'm one of these people that I'll feed off other people. So if they're really nervous or then I start feeling nervous. Yeah, so I think sometimes it does help if you kind of take yourself off a bit and just sort yourself out, and then.
Yeah, I just like to be on my own, just do my own thing. I take headphones sometimes.
Is there a plan in place for this year?
Potentially 13 weeks. We've got one of the qualifiers, and then they've got the British finals. This is the two bros in August. I say potentially because you never know.
Yeah.
With this world at the moment, I'd like to do an international show, but on Monday I tore my quad. So.
Oh no.
Yeah.
How did you manage that?
It's only a partial tear, I think, because there's no like visible bruising.
Yeah.
But I felt it. Ding. Yeah. I don't think I was doing a leg press, and in hindsight, I don't think I warmed up enough.
Yeah.
And I was on for a PB, and it was pretty heavy, and went really deep, and I just felt ping. I was like, shit, that's not good.
Yeah.
I managed to pull it back up again, lock it up, and then I stood up. I'm like, that feels a bit awkward. That does.
Yeah.
And then the pain sort of started kicking in. I was like, nah, this isn't good. But it's gradually eased off throughout the week. So fingers crossed, it's only just sort of a partial tear, and we're okay. So as long as that doesn't hold me back, then potentially 13 weeks out. But I'm really not, I haven't set my heart on anything. If I'm not ready, if I'm not in condition, I won't compete. Condition is massive to me. And if, you know, even if it's just a qualifier, I wouldn't stand on stage if I wasn't ready. So.
And you're known for your condition that you bring, aren't you? Everyone always comments on the condition.
Yeah.
So I'm just really interested about what the reality is of being in that sort of condition, because I think figure and bikini, or you know, bikini do get in some form of condition, but it's not as close to figure. Mentally and physically, what does it feel like to be in that level of condition?
Physically, it's you're exhausted. It hurts to sit down because your bum hurts. It's literally just sort of exhaustion, but then you kind of like it, you kind of thrive off it, because the more exhausted you're feeling and the tougher it is, you know you're losing fat, and you know you're sort of getting in condition. So it's sort of a sick kind of, you know, you kind of crave it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But you notice yourself sort of slow down. So it's funny how your body kind of just adapts and does these subconscious things. Like, for example, I'm a very tidy, clean, sort of obsessive person anyway. So if I've done a wash, I've got washing to put away upstairs, I won't put it at the bottom of the stairs. I'm putting it away straight away. Even if I know I'm going to go up there in a few minutes' time, it's going away straight away.
Yeah.
When you sort of the depths and the last stages of prep, I will put them at the bottom of the stairs, and then I walk away, and I'm like, and it's just your body saying you can't walk up those stairs, and then I fight it, and I'm like, you're going up those stairs. And I'm literally crawling up on my hands and feet. Do you know what I mean? And it's little things like that. I mean, when people talk to me, sort of being a PT and that, and being around the gym, people want to come up and chat to you. And I notice I'll lean on something and someone will speak to me, and I'll go to talk, and then nothing will come out. And it's always like your body's saying, just conserve this energy, just don't talk. Yeah. And I think I must come across quite rude sometimes, because I just kind of, it's almost like I'm saying, go away, please don't talk to me, because I can't talk right now, go away. You can't say that. And you're just like, yeah, so you kind of, everything slows down. But then mentally, my brain says, fight it. So I've got steps to hit, and my body's saying, sit down. I'm like, I'm doing it, and you just go and you do it. So I like that mental aspect of it, but yeah, the physical side is quite tough. But yeah, that's what you do, isn't it, to get into condition? And if it was easy, you know,
everyone would do it.
Well, yeah, maybe not.
Not everyone, but
no, if it was easy, then I would do it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If it was something that Joe off the street could do, what's the point? Where's the challenge in that? Do you know what I mean? Like you say, people sort of say, oh, Clare Barks, trademark condition sort of thing. And yeah, that's because, you know, I push myself to get that way. I don't want to be a number on stage. I mean, if I'm not going to win, I want to be known for Clare Barks condition. So
yeah.
Yeah.
And how long do you give yourself to kind of get in that level of condition as well? Because you hear of all these people doing like these crash diets.
I mean, since working with Jordan is my preps maybe between 16 20 weeks long, and it's not like it's very gradual. It's nothing's extreme. My cardio has never been extreme to the point of, I think the most cardio I've ever done is an hour.
Yeah.
Hour a day. And that won't be every day either. That would be possibly every day apart from legs. But yeah, so I've not done like twice cardio days or anything like that before. My steps have never been, I'd say never been higher than 15,000. And it's just been gradual, sort of chipping away. And I don't hold back in the off season either. I gain quite a bit of fat in the off season, which kind of freaks me out towards the end, because I'm like, I really am fat now. Jordan, are we all right? I'm like, are we okay still? And he'll be like, yeah. I'm like, you sure? I've got roles. But then in my head, I'm like, you know, you can get into condition. Don't worry about it. We're cool. I can't remember what I was saying then. I've lost my train of thought.
Lost it. And what do your kind of family think about your competing? Are they very supportive?
Yeah, they just
let you get on with it.
Yeah, they probably don't get it or understand it, but if we're ever sort of together and they're having a meal and I'm not, it's just Clares on prep. Do you know what I mean? It's never been an issue with anybody. And my husband being in the Marines, he knows the mentality, you know, sort of pushing yourself to the limit. So, and my kids, it's just like, mum's a bit weird.
She's doing her thing again.
Yeah, mum, we're having a Domino's. Do you want one? No, you can't, can you? So it's never got, and I didn't start competing until my kids were a little bit older. So it wasn't the case of like, you know, they were really, really young. So I was, you know, I wasn't able to take them anywhere or do things with them. So they were a little bit older when I did start competing. So it's a little bit easier to sort of work around them. And, you know, sort of I'd get up before they woke up, do my cardio, go for walks. And it wasn't like I'm feeding a baby and, you know, sort of trying to do things between the naps and things like that. So that was a little bit easier. And yeah, I've never had a problem with people supporting me, and they just sort of let me get on with it. So.
Let you get on with it. That's good. So yeah. It can be a struggle, can't it, when you feel like you've got to justify it or. Yeah,
no, it's, you know, my parents have always been very, you know, whatever you want to do, just we'll support you sort of thing. So.
By the sounds of it, they won't be surprised either. It's another challenge and another.
But that's it. I mean, they know that I've always been very competitive. You know, they used to sort of take me to matches and, you know, support me on the sidelines with all my, you know, sports stuff. So yeah, they've always been there.
So when did you kind of transition into being a PT then?
That was when, so like I was saying, my obsession was like training and nutrition sort of started when I had that nanny job, and I started reading up and really kind of just knowing that something in fitness was, you know, the way I wanted to go. And it was when I was pregnant with my first daughter that I just thought, right, I'm going to use this time while I'm not working to study. And I studied nutrition courses. I got diplomas in sports nutrition. I did a supplementation course. And then I did my PT course a little bit later on when my children were sort of very young. No, in fact, when they were old enough to go to a childminder and one was in school, that's when I did my PT course. So I was able to sort of work it around then. And then, yeah, when I was qualified, I straight, you know, and they were at school settled, I was straight into working. So yeah.
Final two questions. What's your kind of favourite thing about the bodybuilding fitness industry, and then what's your biggest pet peeve?
The industry as a whole, or sort of bodybuilding for me, or
should we go for bodybuilding? That's probably more relevant.
Bodybuilding, I love the niche of the industry. It's, you know, once you get in with the right sort of, you know, the people that are passionate about it, the real bodybuilders, it's very supportive. It's very kind of, everybody gets each other. You know, we're all in this kind of bubble of, we know why we're doing it and we know what it's all about, sort of thing. So I love that side of it. I love the challenging side of it personally. I love the discipline, the routine it gives me. Sort of the mental fortitude it gives me. So there's a lot of positives I take from it. Negative side of the industry, possibly poor coaching. Everybody's a coach who shouldn't be a coach. That kind of niggles me a little bit. Or people who pretend to want to be in the industry but for the wrong reasons. Do you know what I mean? It's for just for sort of an Instagram picture, or, you know, I've lost a bit of weight, I'm going to compete, but it's not sort of serious. I mean, it kind of loses that niche side of it when too many people are doing it and doing it for the wrong reasons. So yeah, maybe.
Do you think there's kind of a way to spot a bad coach for kind of someone new coming into the industry, or do you think it's a case of kind of having to try people and then be brave enough to swap?
I think it's just doing your research and sort of, you know, not going for a coach simply because they've, you know, got into shape themselves. I think a lot of people make that mistake of just saying, well, you're in shape, you must be a good coach.
Yeah.
You know, and that's not the case. You know, a lot of these people are in good shape, have got in good shape because they've got coaches themselves. So doing your research, you know, looking at testimonials, speaking to other clients that they've had before, and asking questions. Don't just follow, you know, sort of blindly follow a plan. If you're questioning something and something in your gut says this isn't right, then question it, ask them why, because a good coach will be able to tell you why they're doing something. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with, you know, don't be that annoying client that asks everything, questions everything. But, you know, if something in your gut says, you know, at the end of the day, your body is your body and you're responsible for what you do to it.
Yeah.
So, you know, always question.
Yeah, that's definitely one thing I'd tell myself in hindsight, is probably learn more so I know what to question as well. Because I think if you come in the industry with not a lot of fitness knowledge, it can be quite hard to know what's right and what's wrong.
This is why I'm quite glad that I prepped myself to start with. I just kind of learned about the industry. I learned, you know, I made sure I built my knowledge up first. If I'd have got a coach straight away, I could have just sort of blindly followed straight away and not really sort of educated myself on anything. And even to this day now, I read, I do courses, I constantly learn stuff. And, you know, which has, and being on like one of the JP athletes as well, and being part of the member site, you know, I'm offering my advice to other members on the site, so I need to be knowledgeable. So I feel like it's my duty to keep on top of my education as well, my knowledge as well. So.
I think that's one of the best things about being coached as well, is having someone who you can learn from and you can pick their brain as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you've come on leaps and bounds. You're working with Cuba now, aren't you?
Yeah.
And that shows. And it shows as well that you've got complete trust in him, because you've just sort of, you've gone for it and you're off season. You've not questioned it. You know, if you're kind of a bit unsure about your coach, you might hold back, or you might sort of think, right, I'll alter the plan here, I won't do that, which is completely pointless of having a coach in the first place. You need to be completely, you know, 100% trust that person. Yeah.
And you're more likely to be invested in something if you understand why you're doing it as well.
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely.
Amazing. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on. I'm so glad we've managed to actually get it in the diary and get it sorted.
Are you competing, by the way? Are you going to compete this year, or what's your...
I am. So it's a bit kind of up in the air at the moment. I don't quite know when's a good time to prep, but I am aiming for September.
Cool.
So
pandemic.
Pandemic pending.
Lockdown number 464. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of, I want to be able to go kind of all in, and if it's a bit uncertain, I don't know whether I want to be doing it. So
it shouldn't be, surely.
Yeah,
surely.
I just want to be back in the gym properly, and then I'll do it.
Yeah. Well, fingers crossed. It's only a week, so isn't it? So
yeah, week Monday, which would be amazing. It's so nice to get back in the gym.
Well, we should get the announcement Monday, shouldn't we? Whether it's going ahead.
Yeah.
Announcement tomorrow.
Tomorrow, so fingers crossed. I think in the last announcement they were pretty certain, so let's hope so. But yeah, if people want to... Sorry,
you need to come down to 3F and see me as well.
I do, yeah. I've actually trained in 3F a few times, so I'll definitely come and see you. It's just down the road from me.
Cool.
Amazing. If people want to carry on following you and following your journey, where can they find you?
Instagram's the best place, Clare Barks PT. And I've got my athlete log on the Trained by JP member site, and I literally I'm on there daily, and I've got my whole diet, my whole training plan, any updates, when I'm prepping, what shows I'm doing, life, quad tears, you name it.
All the drama.
All the drama, so you can follow me on there as well. So, yeah.
Lovely. Well, I'll tag your Instagram in the show notes so people can find it.
Thank you.
And thanks,
Pleasure,
guys. Oh, yeah, it's been a pleasure. And thanks for everyone for tuning in.